Hey, I'm Katie, and today I'm going to show you what I do with my leftover Halloween pumpkins. They keep for a couple of months, so this is a fun winter activity. It roasts them, it heats up the house. Anyway, we're going to make pumpkin puree so that we can make pumpkin breads, pumpkin soups, all sorts of stuff with fresh pumpkin. Tastes so much better than the canned pumpkin, and it's really, really easy. Here, let me show you how. For this recipe, you're going to need a pumpkin, of course, a bowl, a knife, a cutting board, and something to scoop with. I like to use the big ladle, but this pumpkin was kind of small, so you'll see later in the video I used just a regular spoon and it worked great. Let's get into it. Now the first thing you're going to want to do is cut your pumpkin in half from stem to bottom. And be careful. Make sure you're using a sharp knife and you're not cutting your fingers. I'm using not the nicest knife in this situation, so you're gonna see me wrestle with this pumpkin a little bit, but that's okay. Make sure to be cutting on a surface that it's okay to cut on, like my little plastic cutting board. I really like it because it's easy to clean and disinfect. And we're just gonna chop into that big boy. And I'm gonna flip it over and I'm gonna rotate it. It's kind of hard to film cutting large vegetables with the setup that I have, so I'm sorry that you see a lot of my arm. But anyway, we're gonna finish chopping that up and we are going to rip her in half. And now you have two halves of a pumpkin. All right, now it's time to grab that bowl and get scooping. You're gonna scrape out all the insides of your pumpkin and you're gonna save the seeds and the guts because we are gonna use them for future recipes. And it is gonna end up so much better than you think it is. You can use almost the whole pumpkin. So we're just taking these decorations and turning them into something useful instead of just throwing them away. Granted, they would decompose and be nice compost for the landfill, I suppose, but I paid for these pumpkins, so I want to get my full money's worth, you know? So I'm going to go ahead and speed this up so that you don't have to watch me pull out seeds with excruciating detail. I have a Halloween video that's a time lapse of me carving pumpkins, so y'all know how to carve a pumpkin. I'm just gonna speed this up. So I'll see you in a minute. All right, there is one gutted pumpkin, or at least half of one. You don't need to see me do the rest. I'll see you at step 3. Now it's time to line a baking pan and slap those pumpkin halves on there. You're gonna bake it in the oven at 350 degrees for 45 to 50 minutes. It's done when the skin is tender when you poke it with a fork. Now that you've got your roasted pumpkins, it's time to get them peeled. Do this carefully. It's easiest when the pumpkins are hot, but it's also the easiest time to burn yourself. Know yourself, know your fingers, know your heat tolerance, and be safe about it. The fork is really helpful for removing the pumpkin skin. And when you're done peeling the pumpkins and get the pumpkin meat out, you're gonna put it in your food processor or blender or some other way that you're going to blend or mash it up. I like the food processor best. So I'm gonna go ahead and speed this part up. Now go ahead and process or blend until the pumpkin is smooth. It's ready to come out of the processor or blender when the consistency is similar to applesauce, like that. It's time to go ahead and scoop it out. We're all done. You can either put it somewhere where you're going to use it for the next recipe, or go ahead and just stick it in the fridge for a few days and use it later. This stuff is so versatile and it's so delicious and it's really healthy. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. Please subscribe if you haven't already. It's free, so I don't see why you wouldn't. If you didn't like this video, send it to somebody you don't like, and I will see you next time.